Welcome to the game of Risk, everyone. I'm your host, OliveXC, a top player at this game. And today we are doing Tutor Tuesday, where I review a subscriber game and help them and you, the viewer, get better at the game of Risk. Today's game comes from Davos, a player competing in round 2 of the Kill Pete Open Tournament. The settings here are Reverse World, 70%, Fog off, Blizzards off, Alliances off, Expert AI with 6 human opponents. When I look at this game and I look at the red player, they don't have the best setup. In general, in your first turn, you want to try to establish a continent for yourself and then look to maybe keep another position on the side of the board as you look to expand. The black player had, I think, a very strong claim for this region here. So I would have placed more troops here. You want to be more forceful. And I would have talked to the white player to move there 4. This is because the white player, I think, has a much stronger claim for the upper right-hand side of the board. The pink player, I think, should have been going for this +3 bonus because they have this strong position right here in the center of the board. But again, they're not going for it. And finally, the blue player, they don't have the best setup. Like maybe they can go for this continent here. You can see a lot of the opponents aren't really forcing the issue, getting a continent early, and this is really putting them behind. You can see the white player was not putting troops in the upper right-hand corner, which is significantly weakening them. If the green player wanted to be aggressive, they could go for the area. But even green is not trying to go for a continent anywhere. And I think the mistakes of these players of not aggressively pushing and going for a continent early is really going to hurt them. Because whoever is able to establish that continent is going to be getting extremely far ahead. As this board has opened up, I'm noticing that this continent down here is more open, and I think red has an ability to move into this. So they're doing, I think, a really nice move, attacking several times to expand their count. You'll notice on Reverse World, you need 18% to get 12 territories, which will give you 4 troops per turn. And that extra troop per turn really matters a lot. You'll also notice now the black player, they're finally leaving more troops in. I would have made a movement asking white to attack downwards, where by making that attack, they would then be able to get their bonus. So like people are finally making moves, but it's taking them a little bit long. And finally, the blue player, again, is just failing to really establish their continent. If the pink player is not going for this continent, and it's clear that green wants to be going for this continent, because again, you haven't been making claim to it, this is the one you have to go for. Without a continent, you're going to be falling really far behind. Otherwise, the only thing you have going for you is you're in the bottom right corner, the bottom left corner, a little bit in the center, it's a little bit precarious in the middle, which makes you hard to eliminate, but you're not going to be able to get the same troop generation that the other players are having. And when people start getting the large trades in, like the 12, 15, 20, 25 plus, if you are on the last ones getting the trade in, you're on the prime chopping block for getting eliminated. Now we see, I think, the red player making a really nice move, getting the continent with near 100% effectiveness, defending well against the white player, and they're using the fist pound to signify that they want to work together with the players. You'll notice now that Koki, because he wasn't doing signaling at all with the white player, this is a black player, by the way. Koki's a very famous Grandmaster player. Because he didn't signal on turn 2, it took them an extra turn for white to recognize that they had to move, which is making it 1 turn later for them to be getting their bonus. You'll notice that the black player, as they're a little bit far behind, this is a little bit troublesome. Also notice that green made a little bit of an unhappy face. This is because green wanted the blue player to be moving out of this continent. However, I wouldn't really put this on blue, our protagonist, to really be knowing this, because again, the players are not really understanding about signaling. The importance of really announcing your intentions and making it very clear and obvious for someone to act against it. So now we see that the green player is now aggressively moving in, trying to get the bonus for themselves. And now they're doing the signaling, asking the blue player to be moving for themselves. But you can see with white taking an extra turn, green taking an extra turn. Now white's taking a little bit longer to be getting their bonus. All of these things are adding up, and that 1 or 2 extra turns of troops can really help make or break someone eliminating you and allowing you to get that big trade in to move in for the advantage. Another small mistake by red here, you don't want to be doing 2v1s at all, especially with blitzing, because the odds of a blitz is around 33%, you're most likely going to be losing the troop. It's better to keep it for the map positioning and making it harder to eliminate you, and just use one of your guaranteed rolls instead. I like what black is doing here now they've established their bonus. They aren't defending it fully because they know if white wanted to break, they always could be breaking, but they're also taking up extra space to making it closer to them getting to the 18%. Unfortunately, our protagonist blue really, I think, failed to establish their continent and their strategy, and this is leading them to forcing me to attack 2 territories, losing 1 troop, and now green is just going to be taking that over, making them lose another 2 troops. Unfortunately, the blue player is in a very tough position along with pink, and one of them will likely be eliminated first if the other players are optimal with their strategy. So by the end of round 4, we see that everyone has established their continents who really wanted to get one, but I feel like they could have gotten them all 1 turn earlier. We now get to an interesting move by the red player who, as we just saw, chose to card skip. Now, I think this was actually a very good move because if you notice, the red player is the strongest one in the game. They have the most troops and are in no danger of being eliminated as they are located here, here, here. It just wouldn't be worth taking them out for their cards by getting the 12 trade-in followed by the 15 trade-in, right? The blue player, though, they also chose to card skip. And this, I think, is a really bad move. This is because the blue player, being on 27 troops, is like the weakest player in the game. And if you notice, red is going to be trading in beforehand, and the black player may have a set on 3. If red is very forceful about how they want to play their troops, they could potentially try to eliminate you, right? Like if I was the red player, I would stack everything on my 6 next turn and attack this 1 to give myself maximum amount of flexibility to get ready to start hitting your other stacks to potentially eliminate you from the board. And in black's case, if they have a set, the only thing that's a little tough to get to is like maybe like this 2, but as long as this stack is open and this black 1 remains, they'll be able to path in, take you out. The 6 cleans you like here, and you're going to be taken out there as well. And we see red is placing a lot of troops down in this area of the board, which is good, right? They're basically acting with intention to potentially being able to get the kill. But as we look closer at it, it's getting to be like more and more challenging because if you notice, because our protagonist blue is very well spread out on this 5, it makes attacking this 2 a lot. Forces them to place a lot of troops there in order to take it out. We also see now black is aggressively kind of trying to expand, taking up more space, right? And in 70%, taking up space is critical. So I think this is actually a really good move by black. It also kind of puts red behind a little bit, which is a good move. But as the remaining players keep trading in, the key moment is going to be, since, again, I think it's a little bit too risky for, I think, the red player to be going for a kill on the blue player, is, does the black player have the set on 3? So if they want to be killing blue here, they would have to put about 6 troops here. They would have to leave about 7 here, 13. This 11, maybe just put like 1 here, making that 14. And then leave the rest of the troops here, 7. And then that can take out the remaining armies on the board here, especially with this spot opened up. I think black, if they have a set on 3, they should be decisively going and eliminating blue from the game, which is why I think their card skip was a really, really bad mistake here. And all right, here's the key moment. With 8 troops, 23 in total, I think the black player, if they have a set, they should be going in and trying to eliminate blue from the game. But they don't do it. They overplaced their troops here. They did not need this many. They needed more troops down in this area of the board. Oh, that's such a shame. Black missed their opportunity to strike, and blue, because the other players made mistakes, Blue is able to save double wilds. That is crazy luck, by the way. Blue is guaranteed to set on 3, and they should absolutely be doing that as long as they stay alive. And now we reached a critical moment of the game. Players are on 3 cards. You need to decide, do you want to trade in early for survival, or do you want to try to hold your set and then try to take players out with your bigger trade-in? It's a very delicate ask in Pendulum, knowing what to do. In Pink's case, they are on the verge of getting eliminated. They are in a very dangerous spot. White, though, is very safe. I think it makes complete sense for them to be waiting. Green, though, trades in right away, even though they're one of the strongest players. And it looks like they are trying to be taking out the pink player, who is very, very weak. You can see right here, pink is kind of crying a little bit. And the green player does a very, very nice split, very clean kill. The only danger, I think, from the green player right now is, as you'll see, when they take out the pink player, they are only going to be getting 4 cards. They're not going to be getting 5 cards. The red player, the blue player, and the white player are all going to have opportunities to be trading in here to weaken green. And now you can see red, they're just panicking. They recognize that if green trades in, they're going to win the game. Really nice, I think, star sense from the red player. So they're just trying to run because they know they have nothing that they can really do. They're also hoping by taking large amounts of territory that they're going to be able to stay alive a little bit longer here. And now black is in a really tough spot. It looks like they're just playing on a tablet or a phone and are going a little bit slowly here. I think black's best move in this position, because they traded in early. They only should have traded in early if they were taking out black. If they were not doing this, their best move now, because they kind of weaken themselves a little bit too much, I think, is to hit the red player as much as possible, feed them, and just try to give yourself maybe tied for 4th place, which would actually be not like a very bad score, be 8 points, which is quite recoverable. Now, in Blue's case, they have a set on 3 with the double wilds, right? So they absolutely need to be trading in here. And we have to question ourselves, because you see as they're attacking, can they take out the green player right now? And I think they had a chance to be doing so if they tried to place their troops out, right? If they had just placed a little more down, but instead they're just kind of running with it. And now you see they're choosing to instead be taking out the red player. A little bit of a slider mistake right there. I think if you took out green, you got the guaranteed extra trade-in, you would have been able to win right away. And now you got to keep going. You got to take as much territory as possible on this board, but instead you just stop. You could have been taking if the 7 went like path downwards, you could have taken an extra like 4 territory right here, put yourself down like a little bit more. So again, like you see, like this 1 was missing, like this couple ones were missing. You could have absolutely gotten it. This is ridiculous. But now white, they realize that they're just in a tough position, so they're just trying to get 1 more bounty on the black player. And you notice that they're trying to take other territory first. This isn't really helping too much right now because when you kill someone, you only get the extra time if you get a trade in. But since the black player was only on 2 cards, they're not getting any trade in at all. And then they just stop. If they just attacked fast enough, they would have been able to get the win, but this was a very mechanically difficult decision. And now green, if they had a chance, you can see they're attacking a little slow, quarter of the way down. They need to be eliminating the blue player right now. This game has become ridiculous, by the way. Because if they eliminate blue, they get the trade in, they get the bounty, and then they're going to be winning the game. Like, these players are just going at it, attacking back and forth, trying to get the 70. Everything being on a knife's edge here. Everything decided with 1 moment. And you can see now, green is stopping. Oh my god! You had to keep attacking. You had to go for the win. Because now blue can win. And now what blue needs to do is they need to kill the white player and then get the 70%. They overplaced troops here. He needed no more than 13 troops. Because you can see they're going to have around 10 to 11 left right here. And now it can't attack anymore because it's stuck behind their troops. So now blue is going in. And now they need to be attacking this 20 and then going in. No! They don't do it! Ah... So the blue player is going to get the win, but they did miss out on that bounty on white. Thank you so much for sending this game, Davos. But this is OliveXC signing off.